Hello, welcome back. I'm still alive, somehow. Yeah, it's been about, what is it, a month since I posted the last video? Yeah, ironically enough, the day after I posted my last video where I talked about depression and suicidal thoughts, my depression kicked into overdrive and yeah, I got some new medications the next week and they backfired a lot. To the point where since I don't know if I'm on 1 or 10, I have to go by how I act and such. I was constantly dipping down to 2. That is the lowest I can go without staying in bed all day and can't really get up. And yet that level is where I was at when I was at the ER, because they have a psychiatric ward, or at least someone to help you there. But in the middle of the night I didn't have them that much. I wonder why. But I'm not here to post anything bad about those. They tried to do what they could. Because my problem is that I'm between the rock and a hard place. Since I have pretty strong depression, but I'm not hurting myself nor others. I do not wish to hurt myself nor others. So what can you do? Well, since me and you last spoke, I have been to a psychologist about 3 times and still waiting on further consultation medication of the ADHD, which would be lovely. I tried some new medication, but their side effect was either extreme nausea, vomiting at night, which is great if you try to use them the way that they were prescribed, or they didn't function at all, or even worse, backfired. Just put you even lower. Before that episode that I had night to Thursday, I can't remember the date anymore. That's how packed this shit is. But if you go back to the last video posted about a month ago or something, then you can see it. The day after, or the night after that, was the worst episode I had with my depression, which I know is the depression that acted up. I sat on a stone bench outside a police station for about 2 hours because I couldn't move the rest 200 meters home. I sat there wondering, without able to feel anything, but I knew that something is missing. Oh, what do I miss? Or what am I lacking? Emotions and needs and the ability to feel cold. It's minus 3 degrees out, the bench should be cold as all hell, I should be freezing my ass off, and yet I don't feel it. I couldn't feel a single thing except cement juice all over the body. Like the mafia had a bit too much cement to spare, so they just, you sir, I'm going to get new shoes. Yay! Made of cement. God damn it. So, I sat there for 2 hours thinking, can the police help me? No. If they think that they're going to help me, they would either choose to put me in a cell there for night, just to monitor me, or put me into the heavy psychological ward, which is 24 hours open. But that wouldn't help me because, as both autistic and being massively bullied during my youth, I adapt things and behaviors among others. So that is a problem when you don't even know about it. So yeah, maybe a psych ward not the best place for me. And I tried to call the mental helpline, which is 24 hours open. After 20 minutes, I hung up. I was the first in line. But in that second, I was glad that it was me who called and not someone that was suicidal, or worse than that. Then I called the ER and asked if they could help me. Sure, but you have to come back down here. Okay. I thought to myself, I used an hour to go about 300 meters to where I sat now. It was less than 200 meters until I'm home, but I can't move my legs. I can't walk at all. There was nothing physiological wrong with my legs. No cuts, no bruises, just you couldn't access them. You couldn't tell them to raise up and move right. But I just couldn't. Despite my best efforts for 2 hours, I couldn't move my goddamn legs. In the end, I got an offer from the ER to come down there and talk to someone. I did. Took me way longer than it should to go down there. But in the end, I made it. After waiting and talking to a doctor there for about an hour, her response was simple. I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do to help you. You are no threat to yourself nor others, and it's currently 3 in the morning. What are you doing awake at this hour? Well, do you want to read my journal? Do you want to make me talk a bit louder about all the diagnoses I had, which are mostly unmedicated at this point? Or, at this point, I wasn't medicated at all. So, yeah. Still, nothing they can help me with there. The following Wednesday, I was at the doctor's office, and he just went, oh, this has really developed into a really strong depression episode. So, I'm going to prescribe to you, first thing I do now is, here is some new medication. You take one in the morning, one in the afternoon. Okay, sounds fair. And so I did. What followed was heavy nausea and stomach pain way off the charts, and more and powerful depression. Yay. Of course, that's normal sometimes with some medications in some periods when you start taking them. Problem here is that the side effects are just too much for me to handle. When I had that one night was the strongest depression episode I had in my life. After I started on medications about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I've had 3 more. You see the problem here. Like with the antidepressants that I have previously used, their side effects have been monumental and really bad. But due to my brain somehow handling it and ADHD autism combination, well, I took phobias and other practical measures in first. So if I ever get really impulsive idea that, yeah, should I jump off that mountain? My brain immediately goes, hey, idiot, what? You hate to walk. You hate any physical movement at all. Also, you have a fear of heights. Okay, moving on to something else then. And then the ADHD kicks in just, hey buddy, what? You want some pancakes? Hell yeah. So, pancakes instead of jumping off mountain, I see it as a plus. Today I am a bit better. I'm right now at a 4 out of 10. My scanning might be a bit wrong, but that's where I am, because here's the thing that I found out recently. When my depression is kicking me down to a 2 or 3, I have no tics. I have no ADHD outbursts. My autism barely even shows. And when it's at between 2 and 3, my depression overcomes my phobias. That's the biggest thing I've noticed the last few weeks. Right before Halloween, I was at one of my local pubs, and they had put up massive spiderwebs all over, including huge ass spiders. Of course they were fake, but if you have intense arachnophobia, no. I just opened the door and stood there paralyzed, just shaking violently. Oh no. Owen, could you fetch me a cup of coffee? thanks, I just shut the door again with all my might. The day after, when the depression was really heavy, I walked straight in there. I didn't have any emotions or phobias or anything at all. Just walking in. Hey, can I get a cup of coffee? Thanks. Just total dead inside. But I know that's a problem, which is why it's at level 2. At level 1, you just nope, no, or barely any cognitive nor no emotional level active at all. Which is a problem, as most of you would know. And so, I haven't been in my apartment for about a month now. That has been hard and annoying. Very annoying, but that's how it is. Because the, the total of 4 times I've had those extreme depression episodes has been at times where I couldn't really go anywhere. So that has been a very much of a big problem lately, that instead of taking, let's say, a bus in, stay there and visit here a bunch of times, instead I'm doing the opposite, which is a problem. Especially when you pay rent. Yeah, I know it's a big problem, but that's how it is. Sometimes that you need something safe, but then again, what is safe is not the best for you at all times. Like, I am an introvert, but I know that if I'm not seeing other people, if I'm not being social in 3 days, I will become a very, very powerful hermit. And so I try to push myself out there as much as I can. But like when I was watching the animals for an entire week and locked in a cabin basically with them, or they were there with me. Anyway, that was hard, and coming back from that was pretty hard. Which is why I tend to try and be as social as I can, even if that is not something that fuels my energy level and just drains it, because I need that, especially with hearing and such. Need to normalize that at some point. But when it comes to this, when it comes to depression, having someone to talk about it with is basically life-saving. It is life-saving. And I've been on the new meds, and then on Friday now I stopped taking them. No, that was on last Thursday I stopped taking them, and Friday I took my old antidepressants again. You know, those who made me suicidal 6 hours a day. They didn't have that effect on me this time. At all. Probably talked about this before, but for some really weird reason, my brain chemistry is atypical. Is that normal when you have 5 diagnoses? Or is that just something extra? I have no idea. Any chemists out there, please tell me. I have no idea. Anyway, I've been better since I started with those again, and yeah, I'm going to see my doctor now in 3 days, so that will be interesting at the very least to see what he has to say about this. Because the thing is, me without any medication is very much up and down, but on a downward spiral. Because I'm rarely, very rarely above 5 or 6. That is just nope. And if we start 6 up here somewhere, and then it goes down, and it fluctuates between 2 points all the time, but normally it's just always going down. And that is in a span of months, normally, for me. And when you hit that bottom, it takes you a good 3 weeks to get it back up again to 6 out of 10, if you're lucky. It has often been that I hit too, but I don't hit the rock bottom, and so that moving up again is even harder. And that is where medication might help. At least it might help me. Because if I can stop or just pause it a bit on the way down, that will be way more helpful. And I thought about something the other day. I chose to stop studying in early September. About a week after I found out that a friend of mine had died, and one day after I found out why he died. And the thing is that I just thought to myself, I'm in this shape after stopping so soon. If I continue just for a day or two more, I'll be probably way worse. And that little bit is really terrifying. Because when you don't know what emotional level you're on, having to take those decisions, you have no idea what effect it might have. Or if you wait a few days more, maybe it gets better. But at that point, I just knew that something was wrong. That this height that I'm on right now, if I fall, I will fall really far down. Okay, better to quit now. And let's say that I chose to continue studying. What would happen then last month, October, when I had my fall? That would have been way worse. So it's really hard when you know that, okay, this was a good attempt, but you got to stop for your own sake, and that is really annoying. And the thing is with depression that I notice it on how I walk. If I at least move my legs upwards, if they are not just sagging by the ground all the time. If I lift them, that's good. If I can laugh out loud a day, that's great. But again, knowing that I was at a better level 6 months ago, or maybe not a better level, but I seem better to myself. That is one of the hardest things to realize. That you don't know where it went wrong. And did it go wrong, or is this just how it was meant to be? I have no fucking idea. But in the end, I don't really know what to say. I thought about doing this video a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, even the day after it happened, but I just couldn't make myself do it. And that's the thing. I don't know if it's who I am or one of the diagnoses, because my depression doesn't stop me from doing things necessarily. My anxiety do that a bit, but that I don't get anxiety attacks like a lot do very often. But my anxiety is more like, okay, we have 10 choices, let's go for one of these 5, without even considering the other 5, because you know that that's something that will make you uncomfortable, but you don't know why. That is how my anxiety works, at least. Like, it limits my options. And lately, that has just said to me that, what are you gonna say in this video of yours? Well, I have no idea. That's why I sat down here to talk to you today. Because in this room, I've been talking to you a lot about a lot of things that I had no idea what I was going to say beforehand. I don't have a script. I don't have really much to go on. But that's the thing. That's okay. It's okay for video, but why isn't it okay for life? That's a bit more complicated of a question. But when it comes down to it, I think it's time to say good night, Night Vale. Damn you! For mine that introduced me to the series, and I am furious, which is good because that's an emotion. just me able to feel an emotion was really good the other day. When I hadn't felt an emotion or a need in 4 days, having enormous back pain was a relief. I laughed when I got that back pain. That shit, I can barely move. Thanks, I have an emotion now. Pain is an emotion, good. But that's a mistake there, but then again, I didn't do it to myself, just my back just suddenly wanted to kick me in, well, the back. And that made me a bit better about myself that day because, hey, that's good. And then I could laugh, which is humor. So, yeah, emotion. But there are many days in the latest time at least, that I haven't been myself, really. Just this version of me versus the one 3 years ago at this point. Two different persons. Almost. I don't know why, but that's how it is, and let's move from here. Anyway, I am not the one to hide anything. I'm not a one to sugarcoat anything. This is how I am. And I'm sorry that there has been a massive lack of videos, but that's how it is, unfortunately. And that is a bit that's weighing down on me. So I thought about this for a while over the last month when it comes to YouTube. And I have considered quitting. Because, well, as you know, I don't have the biggest following or anything. And I might not do a big impact. But I'm thinking, you know what? Let's continue a bit more. Just to see where we go. Because I want to continue a bit more. Even no matter how fucked up my brain is. And we'll see how it goes. Might be a bit more like videos until I actually get home to my apartment, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you for, well, watching. And thank you for being there with me. All of you. Around. Good night.